Welcome to Coffee and RPGs. My name is Solomon SK, and thank you for tuning in to another episode of MMO and RPG News Roundup. I've made it a personal goal to try to get 200 subscribers by the end of July, so I really hope I could earn your subscription in today's episode. But with that being said, we do have a lot of news to cover, so if you guys got your coffee or beverage of choice, let's go over them together. Cheers to you guys. So first, we'll be going over some of the articles from MassivelyOP.com that I found super interesting, and arguably one of the biggest news so far this week in the MMO world. Elder Scrolls Online announces Stonethorn. Its next DLC includes two-person mounts in tow. And it goes on to read that the game's next DLC, called Stonethorn, as I said from before, and along with Update 27th, is launching soon with two new group dungeons, new gear, more performance improvements, changes for the housing editor, and a new storyline carrying forward the Dark Heart of Skyrim arc. And in their official words, your team can explore two exciting new dungeons and build upon the tales from the earlier Harrowstorm DLC and Greymoor chapter. The article continues saying, notably, ZeniMax Online Studios promises continuing performance upgrades going over last year and the addition of character pathing to the game's housing system, which will allow players to build paths for their abodes, many residents, including pets, mounts, and assistants, to follow, and specify many location nodes for each path, and pick their walk speed, add delays, and even decide whether they loop through to their original location, ping pong back and forth along the path, or even travel between nodes at random. I'm not gonna lie, this actually does remind me a lot of the settlement system in Fallout 4, and I actually been having a lot of fun with that, so this is probably something I could actually get into, considering this is a Bethesda that we are talking about, more or less, I should say. And in their next article, Black Desert console players are getting the new Hashashin class first, and that will be on Wednesday, July 22nd as a timed exclusive. And as to the PC players, no one really knows yet, so definitely be on a lookout for an update soon. And in more Black Desert Online news, they add the skill UI update and new male hairstyles, mobile ads, awakenings, and the wardrobe. So I'm not going to really go over this article. I actually did start a new weekly series called Black Desert Online Weekly Updates, where I covered the different patch notes that they actually implement every week with new updates and events, and Perlibus has been pretty consistent in terms of giving players what to do every week, so I decided to do that. I have a link to the card in the upper right hand corner if you are interested. Next, Guild Wars 2 Data Mining uncovers a new player guide coming to the game, and this is something I could definitely appreciate. I tried getting back into the game multiple times over the past few years, and for whatever reason, I just couldn't do it. But if something could help me kind of get back into the groove, perhaps I'll be able to play it again. But yeah, I'm really looking forward to this, believe it or not. Lastly, from MassivelyOP.com, Rebirth Online comes this month following its mobile predecessor. This month on July 31st, Carrot Gaming is going to launch Rebirth Online on Steam. It's kind of unclear whether this is the PC version of Rebirth M or a new game set in the same universe, but in any case, it looks pretty and has a lot of the must-have bullet points features that Korean MMOs tend to sport. Next, we'll be going over all the articles from PC Gamer that I thought were super interesting. In the first one, World of Warcraft Shadowlands enters a beta next week, full release this fall, and that's super interesting because a lot of people thought this game, or the expansion rather, would be delayed considering the global sort of sickness that everybody's been kind of worried about, but that doesn't seem to be the case. They are full steam ahead. And the article does go on to read that to opt in, you'll need to go to your account management page on battle.net and toggle on the option to receive beta invites. To play the beta, you'll need to download a special client from the battle.net launcher. And in more World of Warcraft news, they are dropping the fee to change your character's gender, so you'll no longer have to pay the $15 or £13 to swap genders for your character. So hey, more free customizations for your character is always a good thing. Next, Dual Universe beta starts in August, will require a monthly subscription fee, and the beta is set to begin on August 27th. So they have some plans here ranging from 3 months to 12 months, with 12 months costing you just under $70, which actually becomes the cheaper plan because that just comes out to $5.83 per month. But here's the thing though, if you're going to fork over that much money, say you want to go for the 12 months, I'd recommend just going to their main website, and over here you can see you can buy their cheapest contributor pack for $60, $10 less. And not only do you get access to the beta, you also get additional in-game rewards as well. And if we take a look at the right of the page, we see the most expensive pack that they have for $180. If you don't have $60, but you do have $21 to spend and you really want to check out the game, then definitely buying the 3 months is probably worth it in my opinion. But if you're going to go full out with the beta, it's probably just best to fork over the $60, so then that way you don't have to pay a monthly fee in my opinion. But do note that the article says that the alpha packs will be stopped being sold soon, so definitely get on that if you are interested. And also, the release of the beta will also coincide with the lifting of the NDA currently in place for alpha players. So hey, more content on YouTube, hopefully. And in their last article from PC Gamer I wanted to go over, we go off on a sad note, unfortunately. Pagan Online is going offline. According to Steam DB, it peaked during early access with around 3,000 concurrent players. But following its full launch in August, that number sank to double digits and never recovered. This week, it peaked at 14 concurrent players. Ooh, that is tough. On August 4th, multiplayer servers will be turned off with an update turning Pagan Online into a single-player game. So there are a handful of articles that I found interesting from MMORPG.com. Ragnarok Online revives the new region Moscovia and 2 new classes as well. And the 2 classes that you get are called the Soul Linker and Star Gladiator. Soul Linkers have mastered the almost forgotten art of calling upon the spirits of legendary heroes and imbuing allies with their wisdom and skill. So it sounds like to me like some sort of a healing or a support type of class. Whereas the Star Gladiator wields the power to crush their enemies with the energies of the moon, sun, and other stars. So sounds like a DPS class, but that description, it's pretty interesting. I really dig that. I really like it when they add celestial terms to their, I guess, description, but that's just me. Next, action MMO Legion of the Eternal War relaunching on July 16th, and it's being described as a community-developed MMO, and unfortunately, I do not know what that means. If you do know, please let me know in the comment section below what that entails, but when I see that, I think of maybe it's an open-sourced MMO, maybe, I don't know. But as noted on Reddit, the launch is set to include improved tech, better server infrastructure, and more. And in more Guild Wars 2 news, Guild Wars 2 looks ahead to upcoming updates including 8th anniversary celebrations. The team behind Guild Wars 2 gave a brief overview of the major points coming out, including the next episode in its Icebrood saga at the end of the month. Remember, this is the episode that will release without voice acting due to the... well, I'm pretty sure you guys get the idea by now. Additionally, the blog post details information regarding the Festival of the Four Winds, which is happening on August. Also, with the 8th anniversary of Guild Wars 2, oh my goodness, I can't believe it's already been 8 years. On the horizon, ArenaNet has been detailing what players can expect from the festivities. Every character will receive an annual present on their birthday, meaning the day in the year they were created. And lastly, from MMORPG.com, Shroud of the Avatar update gives us a sneak peek at Tanglemire. I believe that's how you say it. But it is going to read that Tanglemire will arrive to episode 2 access holders. It's described as inhabited by Norwegian-style denizens who are rather superstitious. To that end, they've set up spirit warders to guard their borders, meant to protect Tanglemire from spindleclaw creatures, monsters. We'll just say monsters. The article does go on to describe the governments and different enemies around the area. So if you want a closer look, I'll have a link to this down in the pinned comment section below if you're interested. Next, we will go over some of the things from allchar.com that I found super interesting. And in more World of Warcraft news, Blizzard reveals contents of World of Warcraft Shadowlands Collector's Edition. There will be a standard one that includes just the expansion, but there's also an Epic Edition as well as the Collector's Edition. But the Collector's Edition will include everything. The Epic Edition has as well as physical items such as a hardback art book, Shattered Sky mousepad, 4 collector's pins, as well as a digital soundtrack as well. And if you are curious about the price, the collector's edition will set you back about $120 from GameStop.com. Next, from allchar.com, Star Citizen's Foundation Festival 2950 could win you ships and skins as well. Cloud Empyrean Games announced the Foundation 2950 event, which is a month-long event that's all about helping your fellow pilots and snagging a few exclusive rewards in the process. And basically, from what I gather, if you are somebody who is very familiar with the game and you help out other people who are trying to get into it, basically act as a guide, you'll actually be rewarded, as the title suggests, with various skins and ships as well. You'll get rewarded after 1, 3, and 6 successful guide sessions, but they also do note that CIG stressed that they'll be monitoring and verifying all the guide interactions so as to prevent anyone gaming the system. So make sure to keep all your academic work clean. So I know there are a lot of MMOs out there that did similar things, but there was a clear-cut objective that you could do in order to get rewarded for helping out players that are, say, at lower level. I'm not exactly sure what the objectives are with this one, what is considered a successful guide session. But in any event, they seem to be really hands-on about the whole experience between the interactions of people, which I think is really awesome. And lastly, from allchar.com, here is another major Assassin's Creed Valhalla leak showing the boss fight. Another 7 minutes of Assassin's Creed Valhalla gameplay has leaked over on YouTube. This time the video features a boss fight against one of the demon goddesses named Cordelia. And as you can see here, they did have the video linked to their article, but it's been taken down, probably a DMC takedown. But, you know, justifiably so because the game hasn't been released in this case. And lastly, we will be going over some of the articles from Destructoid.com. First, Destiny 2 is removing the reward limit from 5 sun-setting raids. Later this year, Bungie is set to introduce the controversial quote-unquote vault system into Destiny 2. In short, certain elements will be sunset, or in other words, removed from the game, possibly to return at a later date. That includes items as well as full-on activities and events: Leviathan, Eater of Worlds, Spire of the Stars, Crown of Sorrow, and Scourge of the Past raids. But the good news is that Bungie is allowing them to be farmed indefinitely without a weekly lockout restriction, so no CDs for those. And lastly, for all you Final Fantasy XIV fans out there, Final Fantasy XIV is bringing back the Dragon Quest crossover event, so I'm assuming, just based on the way it's worded, this is something that they did before and they're bringing it back, which I think is really cool, because as more players start to play a game, they might have missed out on an exclusive event, and for them to do this again for players that haven't experienced, I really do appreciate that. But the event will run through July 27th, so definitely head on over if this is something that you missed last time. And that concludes today's episode of MMO and RPG News Roundup. I do appreciate it if you made it with me so far, because the watch time does help with the algorithms. And I really hope I earned your subscription in today's video. As I said before, I'm trying to get to 200 subscribers by the end of July. Thank you to those of you who already subscribed and support the channel. I really do appreciate it. But anyways, I will let you guys go. I hope you guys have a blessed night, and I will see you guys next time. Cheers again, everyone.